So the merger begins. I want to preface this with saying that this comes at the tail end of an interesting dream last night that became a lucid dream, then an astral projection. Sitting in a classroom, staring at a board. I can't exactly be certain what was being written. I felt as though I was under some sort of conditioning program. To my left, I could hear someone say, "Hey, I think this one's awake." Now, my extensive lucid dreaming experience tells me to remain calm, to observe the situation, and if there's something guessing I might be awake, I'm not going to give any immediate indication that I am awake. I simply am going to listen and observe as closely as possible what is questioning my level of awareness. As this, I'm going to say human male, got closer to investigate whether or not that I was aware of where I was and potentially what was going on, I decided at this moment that I was going to advance on him. Now, I reached for his throat. The look of panic was interesting as well, because suddenly he knew I was fully engaged, but it wasn't the dull sense of stare that I get from perhaps a dream individual, sometimes a spirit, an archon, as I've come to learn. No, I believe that this was some sort of projected human consciousness into my dream reality, and that there were others there being conditioned. For what? I can only guess. Perhaps nefarious reasons, which is where my mind goes to. Anyways, so I advanced on this individual, now being aware, now being completely lucid in the dream that that is occurring, and I am now grasping this intelligent projection's throat, which is startling to it because I'm not sure that anything has advanced on him or become fully aware within the operation that they were running. Grabbing it and sealing whatever, because you can't necessarily kill it. It is only an aspect of something else's physical body, but I can do it great harm. I do find that wrestling entities or energetic projections is much more effective than kicking or punching, but I wanted to get a good handle on it, and the throat seems to create a sense of panic and fear, which is what I was able to do. And as he was watching what my hand was doing, and both his hands were trying to prevent my one hand from strangling him in a power position, also because I was gaining authority over him in this position, I manifested my astral sword in the hand that was not being watched and stuck it thusly through its belly and cut upwards, which I know does do some serious damage to an astral entity wherever it comes from. In my own personal life, I've been taught to be very careful to watch what the other hand is doing, and have used a similar method in other lines of work that will never need to be discussed. So, I realized that I am a 20-plus year practicing magician with a score load of spiritual warfare experience, that if this was happening to me, it was definitely happening to other people. I have been sitting on something for quite a while, and now it is the time to release this. I don't think this happens to me very much, and last night I did not run through the protocols that I usually do as I'm laying in bed anyways, so I think this left me open. Shame on me. But it does open an opportunity for me to acknowledge the need, and so I'm going to merge the two major practices that I have been harping on for many years now, which will be, one, the LBRP is merging with the middle pillar. into one exercise. One thing. Okay? Now, how is this going to work? How do you do them both at the same time using what is the master planetary symbol? We all understand by now, if you've been watching my videos, that I practice planetary magic. Okay? I do not practice Hermeticism, although I try to use Hermeticism to explain the higher functioning and the far more sophisticated aspects of planetary magic. Unfortunately, Hermetic magic is just far too clumsy, far too over pseudo-intellectualized, which has made it extremely cumbersome. And the type of people who gravitate towards this practice are just oftentimes too weird, too asexual, too antisocial, too pompous, and engaged in trying to become the next Aleister Crowley rather than developing who they truly are, to really talk about something so much more vast in scope and full of options, such as planetary magic, that I can no longer use the Hermetic template. It's done. It's over. I can't handle it. The people involved are just lowest common denominator and base level material, and they like it that way, and they wish to keep it that way. So those of you who are moving on with me, this is going to be something that revolutionizes your entire practice, and I'll give you many examples why. First and foremost, each planetary sphere, if we're going to use the Jewish co-opted, stolen aspect of Kabbalah, we're going to call them Sephiroth. I dislike that term because I dislike where it comes from. Planetary spheres such as Uranus, such as Neptune, such as Saturn, such as Jupiter, Mars, Sol, Venus, Mercury, Lunar, and Terra. You have a planetary body in each of these planetary spheres that is uniquely your own. Each of those rays filters down, and like layers in a big deli sandwich, layer after layer after layer suddenly become your physical body. A densification occurs. Down in the Terra level, then there is a layer that is both elemental air, elemental water, elemental fire, and elemental energetic earth that also incorporate into who you are. And this covers a full spectrum of both non-physical and physical components: chemical, physiological, psychological, esoteric, metaphysical. There is no fucking separation. There is not one aspect that does not affect another, that is not energetically supported or caused by another. So if it creates a chemical reaction in your body, what created the chemical reaction? Something caused a chemical reaction that makes the chemicals do something that does something to your physical body. That does not suddenly make it not so. Just because something triggered a certain set of chemical reactions is natural, and magic is natural. Images, ideals. When you're interacting with spirits, certain things happen, chemical releases happen in your blood, glandular releases happen in your blood, because dealing with a spirit or a planetary entity, a planetary vibration, affects certain things in your body. Your body responds to the stimulus that it gets and releases certain chemicals in response to. Fucking A. Why? Okay. Welcome to the higher level intelligentsia of magic, all right? It should not be a difficult process, but strangely is for many people. I also want you to note the date of many of my videos and then watch The response when you have a whole bunch of fakers, a whole bunch of people who steal my information, who suddenly flood the internet with strangely similar themed information. You will notice a direct correlation between when Mr. Uncle Bearheart releases some information and then suddenly it becomes popular topics. Very interesting. I get no credit, but, whatever. All right? It is just the name of the game when we're talking about low-level intellectual people who wish to be in the spotlight, but who do not necessarily have your best interest at heart. So, that being said, each planetary body is in correspondence to the vibrations that correspond to each planetary sphere. So, we're going to map out our buddy here, the Tree of Life. That's you. You are here. Okay? In the grand scheme of the world, you are here. You are the grand sum of all those other planetary bodies, all the bodies of you that exist in each of these planetary realms. Okay? All little yous up there manifesting into your physical form, meaning that you are made up of all other parts. So, anything that affects relationships, romance, love, art, artistic expression, poetry, emotion, that affects your Venusian body or your planetary body on the Venusian or Venus planetary realm. Anything that deals with cognitive function, intellectual capacity, language, ability to communicate, affects your mercurial or your planetary body based in Mercury. This is how a lot of black magic works. Now, notice I say this, suddenly it's going to become a topic of conversation somewhere. Great. So, you isolate a person's particular planetary body, and you begin to work and do harmful things to that planetary body, knowing that it's going to filter into their physical body because it filters down into who they are and causes issue, causes trauma. A good magician can manipulate 3 and 4 different planetary bodies. So let's just say you have a weird love-hate relationship and you are mentally torn between it. That involves Venus, Mars, Mercury. You can begin to manipulate. Let's just say you have terrible fears about the future. Then that would mostly relate to Saturn and Uranus. Okay? You need to learn what each sphere corresponds to. And then when you know that, you will know which vibrations affect what part of your planetary body and how that leads into your physical body. So, there is technology that I was told by let's going to use the word charming females from an extremely upper level elite. They attend a university that exists privately, that if you were in the higher level intelligentsia, let's say you were one of those few people recruited by Yale or Harvard, you may also be recruited, possibly, if you are outstanding, by one of these private colleges that keeps their clientele and their admissions extremely limited and well covered and discreet. The people who attend these universities are told not to speak about them publicly. They function more like secret societies than actual universities, and most people are not even aware they exist. These universities exist on giant wildlife reserves here in the States. The World Wildlife Federation is a front company that buys up, purchases land, takes your donations, and then does God knows what with them. Most of them house CIA black sites, but also these universities that these select individuals go to. I was approached. I've been approached many times. I have always said, go fuck yourself. However, this meeting was particularly interesting where they admitted to phasic technology that exists just out of phase, meaning the normal human cannot perceive them, but continually broadcasts a certain broadband that affects different moods and creates certain whole domes or areas of effect that blanket large populations of people, and over time they can guarantee that certain chemical releases happen because the people there are bombarded day and night with certain attuned frequencies designed to produce certain effects. So high stress, paranoia, the inability to control one's impulses. These type of things get blanketed over areas such as New York City, Los Angeles, Detroit, Houston. All these things happen, and these people are prone to acts of violence. They are prone to not being able to think through situations. They are prone to being submissive, and they are prone to being profiled as criminals. They don't think straight when they're angry, mad, depressed, and it's a constant barrage of these vibrations put by multiphasic technology. Now, this multiphasic technology is not perceived by the regular human and must also be built by multiphasic tools. So basically, they are able to sidestep into an alternate reality that is extremely close to the physical realm, build these machines, step back out, and have a functioning machine that's broadcasting to a specific frequency that affects physical beings. Wow. Yep, this is what I was told. And I fucking believe it, because they were not the first people to tell me that. And it makes a great deal of sense when you really understand what black level projects, gigantic slush funds, and where the fuck $15 trillion can disappear to in less than a year. So understand this. You are in a bad spot, and many people are being bombarded with these constant vibrations. Not only that, they are over-medicated. They are given tons of fluoride in their water. Your food is being poisoned. Your air is being poisoned. Your water is being poisoned. Your dirt is being poisoned. Every facet of your life is re-engineering the human being into not being human anymore, into being a crazy person. And the effects are evident. So, it is with this exercise that I institute an answer to full spectrum dominance is full spectrum resistance. And this is my answer. This is my tradition's answer to this. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to clear up a great deal of bad energies surrounding each of your planetary body using the master planetary symbol. So we are going to take the middle pillar and we are going to perform both functions simultaneously. All right? Are you with me? So, middle pillar exercise. Okay? This is my rendition of a person. Yes, I know. That's you. I apologize for you. But those of you familiar with the middle pillar, okay? Uranus, Pluto, Sol, Lunar, Terra. Above your head, you have Uranus. Okay? Now, starting much like the regular middle pillar, you see the giant great sphere of Uranus above your head. You acknowledge that. Well, okay, first. Let's do step one, okay? Step one, okay? Planetary cross, okay? You stand, you see Uranus above your head, you touch your forehead, you draw your finger down your body, project it down the bottom of your feet, you vibrate Terra, you touch your right shoulder, you vibrate Mars, you touch your left shoulder, you vibrate Jupiter, you bring your hands out, you clasp them again at your chest level, you vibrate Sol. This is something you've done a million times, hopefully. This balances out your energy problems. Those of you who have emailed me, messaged me saying, I have energetic imbalances, I ask, do you do the equilibrium, the planetary cross? The answer is no. That is why. Okay? Don't think you are immune. Don't think you are special. Don't think somehow you are exempt. You are not. I repeat, you are not exempt. Vibrations work. That is how the universe works. If that did not work for you, you would not be part of this universe. End of discussion. Over. You are not special. You are not unique in that capacity. You are special and unique in other ways, just not in the I don't have to do what I am told and I'm just going to do what I want. Okay? Doesn't work. You get that kind of reaction because you don't do as you're told. Things go to shit because you don't follow protocol. That's the last I'm going to say about it. If you don't call me. If you message me saying, Uncle Bearheart, I have an imbalance, I am simply going to say, that is your fault. You know what you must do. Fucking done. Sorry, but at this point, it's the way it's got to be. All right? If you can't be responsible for you, don't do this. Don't do it. If you're not in the point of your life where you can be responsible for you, you can say, okay, I am feeling these emotions. If you cannot perceive what the left hand is doing, don't get involved. Don't, because magic enables a whole new form of awareness, and when you become aware of certain things, new consequences come into effect. So if you are not the type of person that is able to be responsible for yourself, don't get involved. All right? So start planetary cross first. Then go back up to, you're visualizing the brilliant white sphere of Uranus. Okay? That beam of light descends into your third eye. You vibrate the God name Uranus. And in front of you, like a projection, okay, like a fucking, I don't know, bat signal, all right, you see the planetary sigil, the planetary sign of Uranus, okay, that suddenly grows so large it encompasses all of you, and you are now in the sphere, the planetary realm of Uranus. Sound familiar? Okay, all right. There before you will be your planetary body of Uranus. That is you on your Uranus planetary sphere. Okay? It's you looking at you, looking back at you. Yay, all you. It's all about you. Now, generally I would say you should have a quick look at what your body looks like. I would suggest at this point, place your right palm on your planetary body's heart center, and it will place its right palm on your heart center. Okay? Excellent. There's an energetic exchange that occurs. Now, here's what happens. You, facing in the same direction that you are now, in the astral sphere. Now, this is important. This is now becoming an astral exercise. Your physical body remains stationary. However, your astral body that is visiting your Uranian body on the sphere of Uranus will draw with its finger, or if you have a magical sword, it will draw the master symbol in the east. Master symbol. Starting at your left hip, will go up to slightly above your head, down to your right hip, across your body to your left shoulder, across your clavicle to your right shoulder, and down to your left hip. Then you will start at your right shoulder, going down to just below your groin, coming back up to your left shoulder, going down and across your body to your right hip, going across your groin to your left hip, and then coming up across your body to your right shoulder. Now, in a counterclockwise form, you will draw up slightly above your head, slightly past your left shoulder, slightly past your left hip, slightly underneath your groin, slightly past your right hip, and up to your right shoulder once more. That is the master planetary symbol right there. Now, okay? Now, you will touch it right in the middle, okay? And it will pulse, and you will vibrate the God name Uranus. And you are charging this planetary sphere in the God name of the God form that exists within the planetary sphere of Uranus. And you will turn to your right, drawing a circle, and you will perform the function again. Now in the south, and then you will do it in the west, and then you'll do it in the north, and then you will come back again to the east, and you will be surrounded by the master planetary symbol. You and your planetary body will be surrounded. Here's the point. Your planetary body stands next to you as you perform this function. So you are drawing the master planetary symbol, the master banishing planetary symbol around your Uranian body. So you and him are now banished of all negative vibrations. So your Uranian planetary body has now been protected. And all the charges are done in the God name of the planetary sphere of Uranus. Genius! Fucking genius! Genius! So now your planetary body in Uranus does no longer is bombarded with crazy ass weird technological future whatever that is affecting your planetary body of Uranus. After you have finished that, you turn to your planetary body, you give it a acknowledging nod, and then you go back to a much simpler awareness where you are now aware of your physical body, and you now project the white light down into your throat area, and you vibrate the God name of Pluto, and you perform the same function there. Now, here's the thing. Take some notes on this, because I'm tired of writing. Take some notes. The Uranian planetary sphere should be a platinum white. So when you draw in the air in front of you with your finger or your sword around your Uranian body, the master planetary symbol should be platinum white, sort of a platinum-y silver color, all right? When you are in Pluto, the color is like a radioactive neon green, okay? When you are in Sol, the color is a brilliant liquidy gold. When you are in Lunar or Luna, depending on your masculinity or femininity, if you are a man, you vibrate lunar. If you are a woman, you vibrate Luna. I don't care if you are a man feeling you are trapped in a woman's body or vice versa. If you have a penis, you vibrate lunar. If you have a vajayjay, you vibrate Luna. If you are a hermaphrodite, email me and we will discuss this. But only if you are truly a hermaphrodite, because if you are not a hermaphrodite, I will refer to you as a hermaphrodite for the rest of your days. So it's on you. Okay? Now, this covers Uranus, Pluto, Sol, and Luna. Now, after Luna, you come back to your physical body once more. Now is the time that your physical body, seeing that you have awakened many planetary bodies and their sub-corresponding planetary bodies right next to them, are also affected by this positively, although we will get there at some other point. Don't include Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Mercury. This is middle pillar for right now. Don't include those. But when you reach, it's time for Terra, yes, the black sphere appears slightly, the upper dome appears above your feet, the lower dome appears just underneath the earth that you are standing. Okay? You are your physical representation. Now, there's a little bit more into this, but I'm not going to get into it because this is a lot to start anyways. But that is when your physical body performs the master planetary banishing symbol in each of the directions like it was the LBRP. Okay? Now, yes, in this case, you will vibrate the goddess name Terra in each of the 4 directions. Okay? Now, what you have is you have banished a lot, 99% of all the crazy fucking chatter. So, if you're talking about being a fully functional transmitter transceiver, guess what? Your most powerful function as a cosmic antenna, has now been made possible because you are now equalized and neutralized on a massive scale. So you will resonate in the way that you are supposed to resonate. You will not be affected by the same levels of vibrational bombardment that most people are. You can be you. Your DNA will not be just unwound and unbound by all the chemical procedures and vibrational attacks. You will remain human. Your psychic bodies will remain intact. Your ability to communicate with spirits will be huge. I am a master of Goetia magic. I am a master of conjuration and evocation. Why? Because I can hear spirits. In fact, so much so that the people that have spent time around me have heard the same spirits that have spoke to me because the communication level is that fucking clear. Okay? I'm like the fucking Sprint, whatever. Can you hear me now? Yeah, I can. Because of that. They're like, Uncle Bearheart, why are you such an amazing psychic? Because I have that ability. Uncle Bearheart, why are you such an amazing medium and can speak to the dead? Because I can do that. Because I formulate this practice. Because my mentor, who was the real fucking deal, who was legit as you motherfucking get, taught me this practice. And guess what? This is level 1 of what I know. I'm just introducing it to you. Mark the date that this became available. All right, because what I don't want to happen is a bunch of assholes steal this, fuck it up, regurgitate it, blast it all over the internet, and be like, oh, this is the Wicca Greater banishing. Oh, this is a hidden art of Aleister Crowley. Fuck you, it did not. Aleister Crowley never talked about this shit because he didn't understand it. All right, this is planetary magic. This is a high-level practice. Do this at least once a day. Okay? Questions, I will take. But I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Okay? Vibrate once the God name, project the symbol in front of you. You are enveloped by the planetary sphere. Make the master planetary banishing symbol around that planetary body. Work all the way down. Finish with performing it in the physical world. You're done. It's over. You're good. Go do whatever you're going to do for the day, all right? That will procure you amazing amounts of psychic and mediumship ability over time that you work with it. These are vibrations. It takes time to affect the physical world, but you're putting yourself in the correct current for this to happen. This is huge. It's a big exercise. You've never done anything like it before. It's never been released. Give me credit for it. Talk about it. Use it. Begin to practice it every day, and you will see what I mean. You will see what I mean. Your astral abilities will skyrocket because you are practicing seeing in the astral world every time you do this. This corrects, rebalances, and restores on every single level: chemical, magical, emotional, energetical, physical. It's all there. Huge high-level magic. Huge. Huge. So, here you go. This is major work. Trust me, you'll thank me later.